Who's glad that our session gives you a cocktail on this hot day? Let's hear it. Yeah, okay. That's all of our time. Thanks for coming.
Rye's from Kentucky and Maryland. That's important because one thing that makes our rye unique, the one that's in there is a sherry finished rye, and Chad and Sara's cocktail elixir that they're going to talk to you about here. So it's an old fashioned with those two components. What makes our rye special? High corn content rye, 52% rye, 43 corn, mash bill starts it, and then we add a little 95.5. So nice flavors for you. That sherry finished rye is available to taste over there. That's it for me, Chad and Sara from It's Bourbon. I give it up.
Thank you, thank you. Who's glad that our session gives you a cocktail on this hot day? Let's hear it. Yeah, okay. That's all of our time. Thanks for coming. No, we gotta stay between these two barrels, is what we're told. I don't know how camera here if we can come out too much, but we're gonna try to stay between two barrels.
We only have 10 to 15 minutes, so.
Oh, okay. No vamping. Gotcha. So one of our favorite cocktails is the Old Fashioned. I feel like if you are a bourbon lover, you like a spirit-forward cocktail. Maybe show of hands. Whose favorite cocktail is an Old Fashioned? Kind of an informal survey here. That's great. So Sara is the mixologist of this operation. And, okay, no, you are. Back in probably 2019, 2020, she started making this Old Fashioned with a special simple syrup that she was making. And we eventually did an episode. We have a series called Drink More Bourbon Cocktails. It's on our YouTube channel. And at the time, it was called the Southern Old Fashioned. And there, for a while, I was like, hey, Sara, will you make me a Southern Old Fashioned? Hey, Sara, will you make me a Southern Old Fashioned? So I think that's why you made this elemental elixir cocktail syrup. Am I right?
Yeah, between that and I do love to host, so I would have friends and family over, and I would spend half the time in the kitchen cooking and the other half of the time playing bartender making Southern Old Fashions. And I was like, this is just too much. I need to make it easier. I need to make this something that I want to be hands-off now, but I still want people to be able to make a really good cocktail. So we worked with a local company from Lexington, Kentucky. It's a Kentucky Proud product, to emulate my homemade syrup to make it shelf-stable. Very closely dialed in with them to do some rounds of, yes and no, what works, what doesn't work, until we got it just right to make the elemental elixir Old Fashioned, the golden hour Old Fashioned syrup, which I don't just use for Old Fashions, by the way, but we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, essentially, cocktails at bars, a lot of these, big bars with the mixology programs, it can be very intimidating. People want to make a good drink at home, and this is $1 a serving, I believe, when you combine it with your spirit. Just something that you can do quick and easy at home. You can serve to guests. And it's something that, we believe in, obviously, that it was kind of birthed from our own at-home experience. But I also use this in hot toddies, a highball drink, all kinds of things, like mule, like you name it. If it requires a sweet element, I'll put this in there.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I don't think we found a use case yet where it hasn't worked yet. What would you say was the most off-the-wall thing where it ended up working?
So sometimes in a bind, if I have cold brew in the morning, it's not something I would normally put in my coffee, but if I'm in a bind, I'll throw some in my coffee if I want a little bit of sweetener. The reason I don't think about it that way is because it has black tea, citrus, and spice infusion. So when you think about that with coffee, you're like, I don't know. It works. I'll just throw it in anything that needs a little bit of a sweetener. It's not my number one use case. I make a lot of other homemade syrups that I'll put in there too, but I really like it in hot toddy, with winter and fall coming up. I would highly recommend trying it in that, or for a hot day like today, just some bourbon with a half an ounce of this and maybe top it with some ginger beer and a highball. It's a great drink.
I've got to say, if you've come to Kentucky before, or if you follow our Kentucky Derby, the official drink of the Kentucky Derby is the mint julep. And, not to be untraditional, but they don't really love a mint julep. But I have to say, well, okay.
How many people from Kentucky actually drink a mint julep on the regular?
All the time as we ride around on our horses, right?
Yeah,
we just mint julep, I do declare. It is a hot one. I got the vapors. this last year for Derby, we used our elemental cocktail syrup. Man, we're really selling this stuff, aren't we? We're just like, it's got 1,001 uses, everybody. Use it with the ShamWow. We put it in a, what's it called? Mint julep. And it was the best mint julep that I personally have ever had, so.
Like, I don't want to be biased, but yeah, normally I don't drink a mint julep because it just tastes like sugar bourbon water to me, but I think and you can do this at home. That's the other thing I love about this is like, I'll take this. Thank you. This syrup is like, we did it for you. It includes the bitters. It includes, an infused syrup. It's ready to go. It's 2 ingredients, your spirit and your syrup, and you're done. However, if you want to make it at home, I'll tell you how to make it. Like, I'm not ashamed. I'll tell you, I want you to make it at home. I mean, I just use like a citrus and spiced black tea to infuse a 1-to-1 sugar water. This is how I make it at home. And then I use tiki bitters.
You sure about this, Sarah?
I'll tell you how I make it at home. Now, how many people are going to go home and be like, I'm going to go through all these steps and I'm going to keep it and it's only going to last a week, whereas like the one that we make is shelf stable. It's going to last you a long time. And again, it's a $16 for an 8-ounce bottle. So if you use a half an ounce, that's the maximum I would put in there. That's 16 servings. That's 16 drinks for $16. I think that's cheaper than going to any bar, but that's just me. But yeah, I'm not afraid to tell you how to make it yourself. I just wanted to make something so people could just do it easy at home. I think that's enough, though, about the story. I feel like we've really just...
Well, I wanted to say, for this particular batch cocktail, it was actually back down to 1/4 of an ounce, and that's just because economy of scales, it can get a little bit too sweet. So if you're batching a large cocktail for people, you actually stretch that even more. But let's talk about the whiskey that's in here.
We will talk about the whiskey that's in there. Just before I get to that, I am a less sweet girl. So like on the bottle, it says to use a half an ounce. I'm 1/4 of an ounce. I don't need that much sweet. I want to taste more of the spirit, so it's really up to you. In this case, I really want to taste the spirit because it's their sherry finished rye from Pursuit Spirits, which we love. We love these guys. Kenny and Ryan, aren't they great? I mean, let's give them a round of applause. We love Kenny and Ryan. They're the sweetest. Yeah, and we thank them for letting us, have the stage for a few minutes. But this product, I think that sherry finish with the tea infusion and the citrus and the spices, it really works. I like it a lot.
I don't know if this counts, but when you said you're not a sweet girl, I really wanted to grab the mic and just be like... I'm not a sweet girl. I don't know if it works, the fact that I went ahead and brought it up, so it probably doesn't work. But the Sherry Finish Rye from Pursuit Spirits was actually our -- rye of 2023, and this was in a blind comparison, blind ranking that we do over the course of about a month throughout the year. So what does everyone think of their old fashioned? Yeah? Good stuff?
I'll also say this is my second one.
They just keep getting better, I'll tell you that.
So we're not selling them today, our syrups. We're not selling them today at the festival just because we wanted to be there. But there's some cards up here if you didn't get one. He's passed some cards out. We're doing free shipping for any of you all. If you didn't get a card and you want it, it's I believe it's KBF 2024 on our website. That gets you free shipping up to $8. So if you want to throw a T-shirt or something else in there, we got you.
What's the website, Sarah?
What's what? Oh, whiskeyambitions.com is our website, and that's where you can get our golden hour syrup. Working on new syrups all the time. I do have a passion for a coffee bourbon drink, an espresso martini, a cold brew old fashioned. I like to put it in my coffee, as I said. So there may be another syrup in the works just for that specific purpose. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
We're just giving away all types of secrets here. Yeah.
You heard it first.
Yeah. So I don't know how we're doing on time. If there's time for any questions or anything like that, maybe.
Otherwise, come say hi.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
Give it up for Chad and Sara.